How's it going, guys? I hope you are all having a very safe and happy holiday season. And now that that's coming to an end, we are at the end of the year. So for today, I just wanted to talk to you guys about my favorite physical media releases of this year, 2023. So without further ado, let's just hop right into it. Now, these aren't going to be in any particular order. It's just going to be a mishmash of my favorites from this past year. Let's start out with the Paramount release of Friday the 13th on 4K Steelbook, with the amazing artwork from Waxwork Records. They, of course, released the soundtrack on vinyl a bunch of times throughout the years. Now, this movie has already got a standard release, but I had to pick this one up just for the silly cardboard artwork. But yeah, man, it's the original Friday the 13th. I fucking love Friday the 13th. You all know that. And I think this one's still available. Highly suggest getting this one. The transfer's a little dark, but still looks really great. Now, the next ones I'm going to talk about together because they're from the same label, and they're doing a great job. And they are the MVD Rewind collection, Laser Vision collection for the 4K of the original Swamp Thing and the 4K of Ghoulies. Ghoulies in particular had no business looking this good. It's ridiculous and silly, of course, the movie, but the special effects and stuff are just insane in 4K. Who would have thought we'd see a Ghoulies in 4K? Like, holy shit. I can't wait till they release part 2 on this label. And then, of course, Swamp Thing, the original with Adrienne Barbeau, also looked incredible, and you finally get to see that, the scene of Adrienne Barbeau. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. They are doing a great job with these, and I can't wait to see what they come up with next. Next up is CISU. This one is mostly because of the packaging for me, because look at this. You got like the slip case over the steelbook with the knife going into that bastard Nazi's head. This movie was a shocker to me. I hadn't heard anything about it, and I just grabbed it blind buy because people were saying it was pretty good. And it turned out to be one of my favorite movies of the year. And this release is just absolutely amazing. Highly suggest at least checking out the movie CISU. And next up is from the Criterion Collection. It is David Cronenberg's Videodrome. This, to me, next to The Fly maybe, is David Cronenberg's best movie. I had this on DVD for a long time, and I was waiting for Criterion to release it on 4K, which they did this year. And mainly because I just love the way they package it. It comes almost as like a TV beta tape that says "Long Live the New Flesh" on it. Fucking love the movie, love this release, and Criterion doesn't do anything wrong. Come on. Videodrome on 4K from Criterion. And next up is the Shout Steelbook of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. This one isn't so much about the release itself, it's mostly just because of the movie. I'm just so happy this got a release in the States. I know Umbrella did one in Australia, but this is one of my favorite movies of the year. There's nothing I could really say to change your mind on this movie. It's like you either loved it or you hated it, but there's something so delightfully unnerving about seeing a Winnie the Pooh and fucking Piglet killing people. It's amazing, and this release is sick. The artwork's cool. Yeah, the Walmart exclusive Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And next up is probably what is going to be the last Best Buy exclusive ever since they're stopping selling physical media, and it is Young Guns. I grew up watching this movie. I fucking love this movie. I love the sequel as well. And for this to get special treatment in like the steelbook form from Best Buy is just awesome. We rewatched it recently. The transfer looked cool, and this release is just awesome. Like the Wanted poster with all the regulators on the back. Young Guns, Best Buy exclusive. If you could still get it, I highly suggest picking this one up and checking out the movie. It's just a classic from my childhood, and I love revisiting it. Now, this next one I had to Google and just check and make sure it did come out this year, and I was right, it did. It just came out in January, so it was like, oh, was that this year or last year? But it is the 4K Steelbook of Cloverfield. I know a lot of people can take or leave found footage movies. I myself am one of those people. But I remember seeing this one in the theater and just absolutely loving it. Probably one of my favorite found footage movies. And this 4K looks awesome, and the case is, of course, incredible. On 4K, highly suggest at least seeing the movie. And if you have a chance to get this one, come on, look at that. So good. And next up is one from Scream Factory, and I know a lot of people seem to have problems with Scream Factory these days, just re-releasing all the Blu-rays they've already done on 4K, and my feelings on that are kind of simple. At least they're releasing them. You know, at least they're re-releasing them, you know what I mean? At least they're upgrading them in some regard. Whether or not they give extra special features is another thing. That is where I'll knock them for that. But I chose Nightbreed. And I chose Nightbreed because the 4K came with all the cuts of the film. Granted, they're not all on 4K. I think it's just the theatrical cut comes on 4K. But if you remember, they released this as a special edition Blu-ray that was really hard to get your hands on. So when they re-released it, they released all the cuts on the film, all the cuts of the film, excuse me, on this disc. And I only had the regular director's cut, and I wanted all the cuts of the film, so I was so happy they did that with this. And at a normal price point, not a crazy price point like you'd have to pay for the special edition they released years ago. Keep up what you're doing, Scream Factory. I'm a big fan, and to see all the films I grew up loving in 4K is incredible. With or without all new special features, I don't care. All the special features you did in the past are good enough for me. And next up, Prey on 4K. Now this one isn't so much about the release, it's just the fact that it got released. You know how it is these days. Things come out direct to streaming, and they never get a hard copy release. I know so many people were bootlegging this movie or going through second party to have it like burned to a disc for them. But to see Disney and Fox actually release this on a hard copy, I hope they keep up with it. And this movie was great. I don't care what people say about it being like kind of unbelievable. It's a movie about a fucking alien, about Predator coming to Earth, hunting people and killing them. This movie was just incredible to me, and for a new Predator movie to come out and blow me away like this one did, please pick this up so that way you can show Fox and Disney that we actually want movies to come out on physical copies. Next up, I'm sure anyone making these lists and stuff would be remiss to include this one. It is the Hellraiser Quartet of Torment. It is Hellraiser 1, Hellbound, Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, and Hellraiser Bloodline on 4K in this amazing box set. It is just incredible. They really outdid themselves with this one. I mean, it comes with the booklet, and we also get the work print of Hellraiser Bloodline. Say what you will about the packaging and it being kind of hard to come out. I'm just happy to own it. I love this, and I love the Hellraiser movies. So for Arrow to come through and release it like this, chef's kiss as far as I'm concerned. The Hellraiser Quartet of Torment. And if you missed out on this one, I know they're re-releasing it with like them in individual cases and all that, but I am very happy with this release. Now next up, this one technically did not get released this year, but to plebs like me who don't pre-order everything day one, I had to wait until this year to pick it up. And it is A Blade in the Dark from Vinegar Syndrome. This is one of my favorite Giallo movies. I mean, look at this fucking case. So for Vinegar Syndrome to get a hold of this and give this such a fucking amazing treatment, it was a no-brainer for me to pick this up, and I'm so happy to own this with like the really cool case. Cardboard enthusiasts unite, right? God. But A Blade in the Dark from Vinegar Syndrome. I don't think you could get this sweet case anymore, but you can still get the movie, and the movie is fantastic. If you like Giallos, I highly recommend checking it out. Now, if you know me, I've been skateboarding forever. If you watch the channel, you see some skateboard clips thrown in, or my early shit on this channel is all skateboarding. Physical media in the skateboard world has ceased to exist pretty much entirely. This year, we actually got Josh Stort's final static video on hard copy, baby. They even released this on VHS, but I love the static series. It's all East Coast skateboarding, and the fact that he went this above and beyond on a skateboard video in 2023, like, they don't get hard copies in skateboarding anymore, so no list would be complete without me including something skateboard related, and Static 6 is a great video. Josh Stort always knocks it out of the park. And I said this was in no particular order, but this far and away is my favorite release of the year. It Follows from Second Sight Films. I love this movie, and the fact that it got such like a crazy high-end release from Second Sight is just incredible. The transfer looked amazing and sounded great. You get, you know, the movie, you get a sweet book with write-ups and like editorials on the movie, and it came out at the perfect time because, you know, they just announced They Follow, a follow-up I don't really need, but I love this movie. From the past 10 years, this has got to be one of my favorites. It Follows from Second Sight Films. I don't know if you can still get this amazing special edition of it anymore, but I know you can still get like the regular version of the movie. But man, this release fucking knocked it out of the park, and I love this movie. I'm just so happy that Second Sight gave it this kind of special treatment. So those were my picks for 2023 releases of the year for me. I know everyone's is going to be a little bit different. I know a lot of people are going to say the Empire of Screams box set from Arrow is one of their favorites. I think it looked really cool, but me personally, I don't really care for a lot of the movies that were in there, so I didn't pick it up. And I know a lot of people are going to throw the Psycho 1 through 4 4K box set from Arrow on their list. I like the Psycho movies. I'm just not a huge fan of them. I respect them and for what they did to the genre, specifically the original, but I'm fine with like my old Blu-ray set. I don't need like a super huge box set, but the box set did look cool, I will say. Anyway, guys, what were some of your favorite releases of 2023? These are mine. Everyone's is, of course, going to be different. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you like what you see. And until the next video drops or next live stream, adios, and I'll see you next time.